you come from a generation of knitters. You knitted your first iron sweater when you were 9, so it's obviously in the blood.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I had no choice. It was all around me when I was growing up. Yeah.
Your mum and your grandmother were knitters, were they?
My mom and my grandmother and my aunt were all knitters, and usually between September and say March. So when it was cold and wet outside, they were inside knitting and making up the fabulous errands. Yeah.
And I just wanted to ask you, I suppose, just in terms of how you curate your story in terms of the business, because you started out, how many years ago was the business?
1999.
Just in terms of telling that story on an international level, because you're now in one of the most exclusive stores and many exclusive stores worldwide. How did you do that?
I actually really don't know. I think half it is luck and half it's the gift of the gab. It's something I believe in. It's a passion of mine. And I suppose when I talk about knitting and the traditions and the story behind all the garments that I make, that it's infectious and people like the stories and the whole lot, and that's why they kind of come back year after year and see what the new product is like and what the new yarns are like and the colors.
Like, how do you try and differentiate your story from, we'll say, the high street stores that have, their sweaters on sale, and then you would have something, I suppose it's a little bit extra special.
You see, high street sweaters would be designed and manufactured in a way that it is, if there's a certain detail that's going to take a long time to make, they take it out. Whereas with my sweaters, I like to put some little feature into them that's either handmade or takes quite a while to knit. And I also design my own colors, so it would differ from the high street and from other competitors in the same way as that I would have natural yarns, but the dyes are specific to McConnell.
Yes, and I was listening to an interview about you in terms of the Asian market and how you use different colors. What kind of colors are they drawn to, or do you use?
Yes, so with the Asian market, my colors will be much brighter. So reds and greens mixed against each other, bright yellows with lovely like tan browns. There would be more hand finishing, so more hand cutting, hand dyeing, hand embroidery and stuff like that onto them to make them just that little bit more special, because they're going into really high-end boutiques. There isn't that much of a demand to bring the price down. So the more I can put into it and the more that I can make it more unique for them, that's what they like.
It really is bespoke what you create there.
Yes, it is. Yeah. We try to make it as different as possible so that it is unique and it sits on its own, but also it's not too garish or outlandish that you can't wear it the whole time.
As a business owner then, because you're a business owner, but you're also a creative, how do you stay creative?
That's not the hard bit. The hard bit is to stop being creative. Because I could stay. Yeah, I love designing. I love new yarns. I love knitting. Yeah, that part is easy.
You studied fashion in
I
college.
did. Yeah.
You were inspired by the Book of Kells. Can you tell me about that? That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a like kind of a romantic idea of saints and scholars in old Ireland at the far end of Europe, when Europe were like far advanced. Here we were designing all these beautiful literature and calligraphy and the whole lot, and I just liked the way that it flowed, and it just reminded me of yarn and threads going around. So I wanted to put that into garments. So I used it for laces and say cable work to try and put that into a sweater. So that takes a long time to knit. So that would be unique and bespoke. You wouldn't get it on the high streets, let's say.
That's why there's such a requirement for your products, because it is different. And I think with this fast fashion movement as well, in terms of having an item of clothing that has longevity, and has that impacted your business in terms of people being more aware?
People are more aware, and fast fashion, yeah, it I think it's only for a certain generation and not for everybody. Once you get past say 30, you have more of a disposable income and you think more about the planet. You probably have kids, you want it to be around for them. There's a lot of things that feed into it. And the other thing is you don't have time to be on online shops and the whole lot to see what you want to get. What we offer is like just beautiful garments, beautifully made, and then we take the hassle out of, like, yes, the yarn is in Ireland, yes, all the colours are dyed specifically for us, but they don't use any anything that's harmful to people who are dyeing it or to the environment. There's less mileage on the initial raw materials and a whole lot that we use, and then it's made ethically here, and everybody is happy in their workplace. It's a nice environment to work in, it's light, it's airy, you know, so we kind of look after the people here, and we also look after people who work outside with us, you know, as well. Yeah, we take all that out of their decision and tell them this is what we've done for you, so it makes it easier for them to buy our sweaters and our garments.
And then the likes of social media, because as a business owner trying to craft and tell your story, there's so many different mediums. It can be quite daunting. There's radio, TV, there's social media. How have you dipped into social media? How do you find social media?
I have dipped into it, but like I find with social media, it is a job on its own. And at the moment, it's a job that's way out there, and maybe next year. All my Asian buyers have brilliant websites and brilliant TikTok. They're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, and they bring the story through there for their clients, and it's in their language and the whole lot. So
that's brilliant. So
works for them. Yeah,
you almost use your suppliers to tell your story on their social media platforms.
Yes.
Yeah. That is fantastic. Oh my God. Once this goes live, people can be like, I never thought of that. That's such a good idea.
Oh yeah. I just give them all the information, the story, the pictures, the whole, and they go and do the rest.
What is next for Irish knitwear?
You see, I think with COVID and the war and everything, the world is new at the moment. People are looking at more into Europe and better made clothes, and the Irish knitwear industry at the moment is booming. I suppose it's ethically correct. We can make the stuff on and deliver on time. Our design is beautiful and it's liked worldwide. Then you have people like Taylor Swift and Colin Farrell wearing Aarons, or their Aarons in beautifully TV programs at the moment, and you're like, oh yeah, it's all made in Ireland, so they're advertising for us as well.
So finally, what is next for McConnell's Woollen Mills?
So we've just shot our new collection for summer 23 and for autumn winter 23-24, which we're going to launch in Showcase Ireland in 23, and we're also bringing it to Shop Objet in New York. So we're hoping to sell it all over the world again.
Like you said, you had a shoot. So for something like that photo shoot, there's a gorgeous image there behind you. I would imagine a lot of work goes into something like that.
It's about three weeks solid working up to the shoot, and about 6 months out when you decide what you want to shoot. You have to make all the samples, who's going to be your models, who's going to shoot it, who's going to work with you, where are you going to shoot it. So there's a lot behind it, but it's a nice part of getting it ready and seeing what your garments look like on real people. It's when you take it out to shoot and people see it and you go, oh, I like that, or whatever. Then it kind of comes home that you're on the right track. And
then you mentioned Showcase, so that's on every year. That's fantastic. New York sounds amazing. I've
done 2 shows in New York already this year, and next year will be my 3rd one. They really like the Irish design, Irish made. They like the idea that it's natural. So it's getting good traction there. So I'm hoping to build on it in February.
And then for something like that, do you apply to be on at this trade show, or?
Yes. Yeah, it's a curated trade show, so that they only let in so many people, and they look at the design and the quality, and it's open to all over the world. So like there's Japanese, there's French, Italian, Spanish, American, Canadian, South American. So it's a nice mix of beautifully made luxury items.
And you've got assistance in terms of a grant assistance from the likes of the local enterprise offices, I would assume. I saw that you employed so many people in years ago, and you're growing. Thank you so much for your time, Anne.
You're welcome.
Been so insightful.
Thank you very much.